Dear students and my dear faculty members, colleagues, today we are going to discuss a different type of content, different from your regular classwork type of subjects. Today we are going to discuss the preparation of proposals for student projects as well as the MR fees for faculty from different funding agencies. That means in today's presentation I want to present in two parts. The first part is the preparation of research proposals both for students as well as the faculty members, and the second part includes the funding agencies, different type of funding agencies that are available and from which we are going to tap the funds. The first part, let us take up the preparation of proposals for research projects. This is a very important part, and how to prepare a research project and what are the different type of things we have to incorporate in our research proposal, and these things we are going to discuss. But before actually going into this research, we have to keep certain things into mind. These days in degree level, at degree level, the demand for research is more and more increasing. So, at undergraduate level, and we are asked to, the faculty members and the students are asked to do research at the undergraduate level, and this particular part is the main purpose of inculcating the scientific temper into the minds of the students. That is a very important thing that the authorities as well as the different type of agencies, they are demanding research work at the undergraduate level. So, to fulfill such type of things, we have to do some research work, and of course, in the recent years, for the last few years, our faculty members are very actively involved into the research work, and they are doing lot of minor and major research projects and tapping funds from different type of organizations. So, this is not the new thing that is happening, this is happening from the last so many years, and this particular program may help the faculty who have not yet come into this stream can come and prepare the research projects and apply for different type of funding agencies to do the research work. The very important point is, by means of getting a research project, there are a lot of benefits for an individual as a faculty and for the college and for the state and for even the country, we can get some recognition. As a faculty, if you can see, if you have a good research project with you and if you do the research, your research work can be published or presented in different type of organizations or the seminars, symposiums and workshops, and even you can present and you can write a research article in a journal also, peer reviewed journals also. These are the important things that an individual can get benefit out of it. The next part is, by means of getting some very good equipment as a non-recurring grant from different type of funding agencies, the laboratories, the individual laboratories of our college can get benefit, and the labs will be strengthened with the help of these equipment, and by means of using those equipments, you can do the research projects for your students, as well as you can offer some consultancy work, and you can generate some amount to the college also. These are the few advantages of doing a research project. Parallel to your normal teaching work, if we can do this research work, these are the benefits we are going to get. And one more benefit we can get as a faculty, we can present our research work in any foreign agency or foreign university by means of tapping funds from UGC as a travel grant. And these days from colleges also, our faculty members are utilizing this particular fund to present their research work in the international symposia and the seminars that are happening all over the world. Okay. So, we are having certain misconceptions regarding the research, and what we think is, at graduate level, the facilities that are available in our colleges or the laboratories are very meager, and it may not be sufficient for us to carry out a research, but it is not true in all the times. What all the facilities you have, basing on that facilities, you can write a research proposal according to the availability of the facilities and the infrastructure that is available in your laboratory. And moreover, and the research proposal should be the cater to the needs of the local demand. These are the things if you keep in mind, and if you can carry out the research work, and for getting the analysis of the bigger part, you can hire the services of different type of research laboratories that are present in all over India, and that includes different type of CSR laboratories are there, and the central facilities like SAFE attached to IITs, SAFE SAIF, sophisticated analytical instrumentation facility that is attached to each and every IIT, and certain very important and reputed organizations like central universities also. This is a very important point. So, keeping this particular part in your mind, so if you want to do the bench work in your laboratory, the smaller work you do it, and for the hiring purpose, and you can get your samples or analysis part can be done by these type of laboratories, and they offer these type of services by means of taking very small hiring charges. For particularly for students and faculty, they are charging very less, and so we can make use of this particular facility. And okay, and the research studies, if we can inculcate the scientific temper into the minds of the students can take up the research at a bigger way. That means they can opt for research as their profession or the career also, they can opt for that, and the students can be encouraged to do research at the undergraduate level and present their research papers, research work, what they have done in their laboratory. They can present the same thing in the seminars and the symposium that are present in our college, and the colleges of in and around, and in the state, and even in the outside the state also, the students can present their papers. That is a very important thing. We should ask our students to have the scientific temper, and that can be generated by means of giving some ideas, what all the ideas we have, and the facilities we have. Based on that, if we can give ideas and the help to the students, they can do very easily. And these days some of the students are presenting their work in the AP Science Congress recently that was held in Vijayawada, and they have presented, some students have presented their research work, the student projects they have presented, and in the Indian Science Congress. For this year, this 104th Indian Science Congress is going to be held in Tirupati. The state government and the central government is actively involved in organizing this seminar in a very big way. So, the research work which you have already in your hand can be presented in these type of seminars, and mere participation in this type of science congress also very important. The faculty and the student can apply for this, and even the walk-in on that particular spot admissions can also be taken up with this science congress, and more students, if they attend and if they see these things that are happening over, and hearing to the Nobel laureates, different type of Nobel laureates that are present, they present their research work in the symposium and the Indian Science Congress, we can get some inspiration from them. And recently our Commissioner of College Education is also hosting an online journal. This is a very important one, and it is a very encouraging and a welcoming issue by all the faculty members and the students of our state of Andhra Pradesh. CC is hosting an online journal, and this online journal can publish your and our research papers in that, and you can keep your the old research work also as a repository in that online journals also. We can make use of this facility in a big way. And now, let us take up what is research and how to prepare a research proposal. In the first part, I will try to explain the preparation of a research proposal, what are the things that are to be incorporated in the research proposal, and what we have to do, and how to approach the different type of funding agency by means of writing this research proposal and all those. Let us take up the research writing the research proposal. First of all, before going into the research proposal, what is research? A research is nothing but the diligent and systematic inquiry or investigation into a subject in order to discover facts and principles. This is the simple way of defining research. Research is nothing but searching solutions or answers to the problems that are present. So, this is a very important point, and research refers to a search for knowledge. This is also what we have to carry out in our research. Research means a scientific and a systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic. The topic we select, and we have to do the research in the direction by means of fixing certain objectives. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. That means, we are doing some scientific investigation by means of adopting certain methodology, research methodology, the scientific methodology. These are the things which we have to incorporate in your research proposal to find out the answers to the questions through application of scientific procedures, which is called as scientific methodology. Okay. How do you write the research proposal now? Writing a research proposal. A good research proposal is based on scientific facts and the art of clear communication. And then writing a research is again an art. This is a very important thing we have to keep in mind, and different type of parts are involved into the proposal. The first and the foremost we have to search is the title. We have to fix the title in such a way that should be very catchy, and the topic should be in such a way that should reflect to the needs of the local requirements. I am not just talking about the science projects alone, the projects that are related to the arts community, the humanities and the science. These projects, these research should reflect to the needs of the local community and local public. That is a very important thing, and what all we do, that should have some sort of social relevance. Research, not just for research, it should be have some sort of information it should get, we should get out of it. And okay, while writing what are the different type of parts that are involved in our research article, research proposal. The first part is the title, as I said, and the second we have to write the abstract and introduction related to that particular research proposal, and the third one we have to incorporate is the research review of literature. That is a very important thing. And the next one comes the methodology. Methodology includes the time frame for schedule. That means how much time you are going to spend and what are the different type of things you are going to perform in that particular time schedule, and how many persons you need to carry out your research and how many persons that are available with you, and these are to be incorporated in the methodology. And while writing the methodology, you should keep in mind about the facilities and the infrastructure that is available in our college and what else we require. That requirement can be written in the form of a budget. The budget consists of two parts, recurring and non-recurring. So, smaller equipment which are not available in our college laboratories and we require for carrying out this research, we have to put it under non-recurring grants. And to some extent we have to do the entire thing in the cover page and the acknowledgement. These are the parts, different type of parts that are included in the research proposal. Okay. When coming to this title, selecting a title, the title should be attractive and it should be effective and it should create some sort of interest into the reader. That is a very important thing, that should be very catchy, and the title we have to select in such a way that the title itself speaks everything about the thing which we are going to do in our research, and it should be precise, a very small one, and specific and descriptive. That that way we can select a title for our research work. Next, the abstract. The abstract includes it may be of 150 to 200 words, and in that we have to incorporate all the things like the background of the research work and the aim of the research and the methods we use and the results and conclusion, all are in brief we have to explain in the abstract section. Abstract, if we can read the abstract part, the reader can know what you are going to do and what are the things that you are applying and what are the methodologies you are applying. All these things can be understood with the help of seeing the abstract. And then next comes the introduction. So, this research proposal, and for the faculty who are approaching for different type of funding agencies, which we will take up in due course in the next slides. We have to prepare our research proposal in a well organized manner, so that the funding agency will come to know the entire requirements and the thrust areas in detail. Okay. While writing the introduction, you should write the general statement of the problem in that particular area, and with a focus on research problems to be followed by justification. That is a very important. We have to justify at each and every point why the research is a necessity, why you have chosen that research, and what are the objects. These are the things that are to be incorporated in the introduction part of your research proposal. And we should stress upon the research problem and the purpose of study, justification, major problems and sub problems to be addressed by the research, and present rationale of the proposed study and indicate why it is worth doing. This is also, these are the things that are to be incorporated in our research proposal. So, while writing the research proposal, a very important and a pivotal role is the selecting of objectives. Objectives is a very important. We should select objectives in such a way that they should be achieved clearly. That is a very important thing. This is a pivotal section, as I said, and everything else in the study, it is the entire research proposal is centered towards this objective. The objective is proposed, study should be stated very clearly, the objective stated should be specific, achievable and measurable. This is a very important one, and as I said, the objective should be very clear, specific and should be achievable. That is a very important. At the end of the, even after writing the research, after completion of research work, you have to justify yourself that how much to the extent you have justified and you have completed or you have fulfilled the objectives. That is a very important. So, selection of objective is very important, and not necessary that you should take more and more objectives. Even if you write a single objective and if you can fulfill and complete that particular objective, that is more than enough. Then that was my intention is, too many objectives should be avoided. That is a very important one. Even a single objective which is relevant to your research work is good enough. If you are writing two or more research objectives, you have to mention in the order. You have to prioritize the orders in the preference. That means, what is the first objective you have to fulfill and what is the next objective and the next. In that way, we have to write down set the objectives. This is a very important point to be remembered. Okay. The next comes in the research proposal. The first one you have selected a topic, and then you have done some abstract. You have abstract by means of keeping all the information, and then introduction, which includes lot of things, including this objectives also. The next comes the review of literature. The review of literature gives a very important insight about the work. That means, this particular review of literature will serve you more important functions, like it demonstrates your knowledge of the research problem. how, if there is, if that particular work has been done by any other person, and what are the things he has identified, he has done, he has fulfilled, and what are the lacunae that are left over in that particular research work, both at the state level, national level, and then the international level. These are to be incorporated in your research project. Literature, review of literature is a very important point, and review of literature in the sense keeping the simply the research verbatim is not just enough. We have to understand and keep all the issues related to that research question. And this review of literature convinces the reader that the research will make significant and enough contribution to the literature. That these are the things that are to be kept in mind. And then the research work which you are going to do should reflect these things. That means what is the status of your research work done at the state level, national level, and even the international level. These are to be mentioned with clear references citing their research publications or any such that are available. Okay. And review of literature also helps the investigator to have an insight on different type of methodologies that could be applied. So, what are the different type of methodologies that were adopted by the earlier investigators, and what is the methodology you are going to propose, and what are the different type of lacunae or the shortcomings of that particular earlier research, and how you are going to overcome all these. These things should be clearly mentioned in your research proposal. And then next comes the research methodology. This research methodology is a way of systematically solve the research problem. That is a very important one. How you are going to solve your research problem, and what are the different type of methodologies you have. What are the methodologies should be in accordance with the facilities and the instruments that are available in our laboratory, and or else if you want to get the carry out that particular research work elsewhere by means of hiring the services, and these are to be incorporated in your research methodology. The research methodology may be understood as a science of studying how research is done scientifically. This particular research methodology reflects how research is done systematically and scientifically. The researcher should know the research methods, techniques, and also the methodology. These things should be incorporated in our research methodology. And researchers should know how to develop certain indices and tests of your own, how to improve or how to add some more things into our methodology. These are to be incorporated. And here a very important point is what all the research you do, what all the readings you take, what all the tables you prepare. At the end, this is a very important thing is to interpret the data in a meaningful way. That is a very important. Just having a data or the information from your observations is not enough. You have to analyze that data and you have to interpret that data in a meaningful way, so that the solution should be given to the research work. That can be done by means of using the knowledge of statistics to calculate the standard deviation or chi-square, etc., etc. There are a lot of statistical packages that are available, and we should make use of that statistical methods, statistical models to apply to your research work and explain in a beautiful way. This is a very important part. Just doing research and getting information, getting tables, getting figures, getting data is not just enough. Unless until we represent, we keep them in the meaningful way, in the analysis way, then it gives the very important insight to that research work. So, under the methodology, we have to select the right statistical method to analyze the data. That is also very important. And we have to discuss the procedures clearly and completely with considerable amount of details. these are to be incorporated properly into our methodology. So, what I have discussed so far is I am trying to explain the way how to prepare a research proposal, and this research proposal we can submit to a funding agency, and we can get the fund from the funding agency, and how to get all these things we will discuss later on. First, we are trying to explain the writing the research proposal. So, in that research proposal, title is important, and then abstract and introduction we have to write, and then the review of literature. Next comes the methodology both in the form of doing the work and interpreting or analyzing the work. These things should be written in a proper way, and after that prepare a cover page properly, and which should include so if it is a student project, write the student project, or if the team of students are performing the project, write the team names, and then the faculty who is guiding, he should be mentioned properly, and what is which is the affiliating university, and what is the submission, and what is the title, and all those things should be incorporated in your cover page. And the first part, the entire part which we have discussed till now is writing a research proposal. And now, as I said earlier, now we are going to discuss and understand the different type of research funding agencies to carry out fund at the college level. So, I am going to explain just UGC is not only the funding agency, and there are a lot more funding agencies for science teachers, faculty, commerce teachers, humanities, arts, and all different type of funding agencies are available for different type of projects. Let us discuss one after another. Now, I am going to explain in brief about the minor and major research projects that can be applied through UGC 12th plan guidelines, and this is coming to an end, and most of our faculty members have already tapped funds, and they are at the end of completion of these minor research projects, and they are carrying out the major research projects also, and the different type of rules and the guidelines that are governing this minor and major research projects I will try to explain, and you can also apply, and you can also approach any of the funding agency, and you can get fund. I repeat once again, by means of getting the fund, the lot of benefits for a faculty as an individual, for a college as such, and a laboratory, and then by means of doing research, the state and the country can be get benefit out of your research, and of course, your research findings can be presented in the form of journals, by writing the articles in the journals, or you can present in any seminar or a symposium or a workshop. These are the few things, these are the very important things you can get from a research project. For all this research, getting a research project is very important. If you get a research project, you can fulfill all the things, and you can tap the funds under travel grant from UGC to present your research work abroad also. There is no limit, and lot of money they are allotting, and there is a lot of transparency is there, and these days you are getting the sanction very quickly also. These are the things we have to keep in mind while applying for these research projects. Now, I will try to explain the minor research project. What are the requisites, and how we can get a research minor research project. The first one is the college should be under 2F and 12B. These two things should be must for a research project to be sanctioned by UGC. And who is eligible to apply for this? This is any regular or a permanent working teacher can get, including a librarian, physical director, and a principal can also apply for a research project. This is a very important thing. And a teacher pursuing PhD can also get, if he does not avail the benefit of FIP. If FIP or FDP, if a person is not availing, he can apply, he can approach the UGC for this minor research project. And only one research project from UGC can be done. This is a very important. Simultaneously you can't do our 3 research projects, only one at a time, and again there should be at least one minimum 1 year of gap between the 2 projects. This is I am telling about the UGC. Simultaneously you can tap funds from UGC, DST or any other funding agency who is ready to offer fund, and this is a very important thing. UGC has specified certain rules that only one project at a time, and only after submitting the project you have to keep 1 year as a complete minimum of 1 year gap, and then you can apply for a minor or a major research project. After completing the project, the investigator should publish at least 2 papers on the work done. That means the research, the outcome of the research can be published in a peer reviewed journal. That is what the latest guidelines that insist. And as for minor research project, as for the science faculty members, they can get 5 lakhs and the other faculty members can get 3 lakhs. The nature of grant is of 2 parts. The first one is the non-recurring funding and the second one is the recurring. The non-recurring funding includes minor equipment, small equipment in addition to the already available equipment in your laboratory, and the books and journals that are required to carry out the research. This comes under, these 2 points comes under non-recurring, whereas the recurring expenditure includes hiring services. That means you can hire the services from the reputed CSR laboratories or any other laboratory to carry out your analysis work and something like that. Contingencies also comes under the recurring. Special needs, chemicals and consumables you can purchase here, and the travel and field work can also be included in your recurring expenditure. This is about the minor research project. The minor research project, the tenure is for 2 years, and procedure for applying the minor research project is to directly you can apply to UGC CERO. That the period is from 1st April to 31st July. Every year you can apply, and this particular part can be a simple copy can be submitted to the university also. A very important one from the 12th plan guidelines, the research body should be kept in your college to select the research proposal at your college level. First, your research proposal should be forwarded by the research body. The research body includes the college principal, he is the first person, as you can see in slide. The college principal is the chairman, and the 2 faculty members of your college having PhD and 15 years of teaching experience in regular service belonging to the same subject. These are the very important points. And the candidate should not be a member of that research body. That means principal and 2 faculty members of doctorate faculty members having 15 years of regular service. And if those people are not available in our college, you can approach the nearby college to comprise this research body. And then separate committee should be formed for each subject. For example, each subject will have 2 faculty specialized faculty members from your college or from a nearby college. This is the research body, and every research project, whether it may be a minor research project or a major research project applying for UGC, that should be forwarded through the this particular committee, the research body. That is a very important point. This generally scrutiny will be done at the UGC CERO, the regional office, and it will be published in their UGC website or in their concerned website, and it will be communicated to the student, the faculty. This is very important. After receiving that acceptance, receiving that sanction letter, we have to give an acceptance letter in the prescribed format given in the UGC website. the investigator, the principal investigator has to submit the acceptance. Unless until we submit the acceptance, the research grant will not be given to our college. And the release of funds, how they release the fund, the 100% of non-recurring fund will be sanctioned. That means, the non-recurring, which includes the purchase of minor equipment and then the books and journals. 100% of non-recurring grant and 50% of recurring grant will be released as a first installment. As a second installment, we have to submit annual progress report and utilization certificate. Only after receiving the utilization certificate and the second installment will be sent, and under the second installment we will get 40% of the remaining grant, and the last 10% of the remaining grant, last leftover 10% will be released only after getting all the documents from us. This is the procedure they adopt to sanction and to release the funds from time to time. These are the things specified by UGC. And at the time of final submission of your research work, I am talking about the minor research project, final research project, and a soft copy. The soft copy of that particular research project should be forwarded to the InflibNet. They will keep your research work in their website, and statement of expenditure signed by the principal and the principal investigator should be kept. Audited utilization certificate signed by the chartered accountant. These are the mandatory documents which we have to submit along with our research document and the final project. And the draft of, if there is any unutilized amount is left, you have to submit that particular unutilized amount in the form of a draft to the SERO. And I have given a few annexures which are already kept in the UGC website. You can download it and you can go through it, and you can prepare a research project according to the these type of annexures. Annexure 1 is the application form which we apply from April 1st to July, and then the second one is the acceptance letter, acceptance certificate we give after receiving the form, after receiving the sanction letter, and the annexure 3 includes the annual report, and so on and so forth. These are the things we have to follow from time to time, and by means of submitting all these things, if we want to take up another research project, we have to wait for 1 more year. In the meanwhile, you can apply and you can approach for other funding agencies also. I will show some funding agencies. In the same way, you can apply for major research project also. Major research project is, if we can see, the major research project is 20, they are giving as much as 20 lakhs for a science research and 15 lakhs for other research, that is arts or commerce or any other management or any other work. They are sanctioning 15 lakhs. In addition to those, a retired faculty can also apply. This is a very important point. A retired faculty who has retired from the service, and they can also apply as a main principal investigator. Only thing is, he should have a co-investigator who is already working in that particular college. These are the very important thing. As per the new, the 7th plan, 12th plan guidelines, the UGC has specified that PhD is not a required or an essential qualification to apply for a major research project. And here also, in this major research project also, you will have a lot of non-recurring and recurring topics similar to that of the earlier minor research project, and here the tenure is for 3 years, and procedure for applying is these days it has become online. From 1st April to July 31st, the online website will be open, and you can upload your research proposal at the UGC website that is shown there, and from there after that 3 copies of three hard copies of research body report should be submitted at the time of interface meeting. Once your project is selected for interface meeting, you have to appear in person at Delhi for the research interface meeting. There you have to submit 3 copies of your research body recommendations. And after the scrutiny, the expert committee will sanction your research project, and for that, after the your interface meeting is over, you will get a sanction letter, and again you have to give a acceptance letter and all those things that just similar to that of the one which I have explained in the mine research project also. These are the different type of documents that are to be submitted after the completion of your research project. They are all present in your research UGC website, and you can download it, and you can see, and you can follow all these things very easily. And now I will try to touch upon certain other funding agencies who are giving grant to the faculty. That is a very important one, and this particular funding is to conduct different type of extension projects and the guide research projects, and they are funding for carrying out consulting services on research output. These are the things which we can tap from different type of funding agencies, and these funding agencies, Government of India has given lot of websites. You can browse different type of websites, that includes Ministry of Education, Ministry of Environmental and Forest, Ministry of Human Resources and Development, Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Renewable Energy and Development Agency. If you can visit any of these websites, you can find a clear information regarding the invitation for the different type of research proposals, and even some of the agencies are giving the fund for carrying out for conducting seminars and symposia in our colleges also. Ministry of Science and Technology is a very important funding agency which is also lending to the college teachers, and Housing and Urban Development Corporation, HUDCO, is the giving, and Indian Council of Philosophical Research, this is also giving. Indian Navy is lending, and only thing is each department or each organization has their own set of objectives, and we have to fulfill their objectives, and they have got certain fixed areas. If we can meet and if we can write your research proposal in such a way to fulfill their objectives, you can tap funds from any of the funding agencies. And there are other funding agencies like National Wasteland Development Board and Building Material and Technology Promotion Council, and for arts teachers you can see Central Institute of Indian Languages and Language Research, that is also there. I have given a website address also. Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, I have given a website, and simply you Google it, you will browse it, you can get lot of information related to all these things. Indian Council of Social Science Research, and this is a very good organization, and they provides fund for major research projects, for particularly for arts teachers. And then Indian Council of Social Science and Research, they have their own thrust areas, and we have to fulfill those thrust areas to tap funds to organize seminars, conferences, workshops in social sciences in India. And you can and they assist, they give in partial or in full payment to conduct seminars and symposia in our college, in your college also. And for arts, request for financial assistance above 75,000 is considered by the ICSSR office in New Delhi. For even less than 75,000, the regional offices are giving sanctions. And for science teachers, we have got a number of funding agencies, which includes AICTE, Research and Institutional Development Schemes, Modernization and Removal of Obsolescence Scheme, and that is also there. Research Promotion schemes, that is also available for science teachers. Industry Institute Instruction schemes are there. Industry Institute Partnership Cell, entrepreneur development cells, and I have given lot of funding agencies, and of course, the Department of Atomic Energy is giving liberally, very liberally for doing for carrying out research at the degree level. Some of our friends are having major research projects and they are carrying out under the BRNS. And the DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO is also funding to carry out research at undergraduate level, and what not. We have got different type of agencies, and these agencies have their thrust areas. That is what we have to fulfill their objectives, and each funding agency have their own thrust areas, have their own objectives. If we can write our research proposal in that direction to fulfill their needs, definitely we will get. Once we get a research sanction, you can do research, you can get lot of funding to your college, lot of reputation to the college, and we can carry out these things, and we can purchase equipment, and that equipment we can use for our research work, for student research projects, and for offering consultancy to the different type of agencies, and thereby we can generate some sort of amount to our college. And these are the things. For all these things, the one and the very important point we should remember is to tap funds, and these days every agency is looking at the undergraduate colleges to see into this research. For example, if you take the NAC people are very particular about the research work. Teaching is quite common, and we also do teaching. We have been doing our teaching work, and in addition to the teaching work, what is the research output of your college? What is the research output of your department? These things they are insisting. For that, we have to get and ready for this type of research projects and all. Thank you very much.